What's up, guys? Starting off your week with the U match against the Raiykid. I don't really know how to pronounce it, but name's gonna be in the title. So this is a match from some time ago. I kind of just leave 30 seconds at the beginning of the video to talk about random shit, but I really don't have much to talk about other than the tournament I went to on Saturday, which was alright. I had some circumstances that happened that just really kind of soured the whole thing for me. I mean, it was a fun time, and we just ended up going to the mall afterwards and shooting the shit with all the people there. But first off was I missed 2 Magma Storms in my first match. In the next match, I missed 2 more Magma Storms and got crit 5 times against this guy. And in both my matches, I didn't realize that my Sawsbuck, when it changed seasons, changed abilities, which I did not even know was a thing that could happen. But I guess when you gen it improperly and it's like abilities like 2 or 1 or something, and if it's supposed to be Sap Sipper and you set it to Chlorophyll, then when it changes forms, it defaults back on Sap Sipper. Whatever the case, my Sawsbuck had like freaking not Winter Coat and not Chlorophyll, which was really bad, and I ended up losing a lot of key speed things as a result. Ended up kind of losing there. I'm not going to say that it was going to be a shoo-in for me to win, but the fact that I was getting outsped by shit I shouldn't have was really confusing the hell out of me, and that was kind of a thing. So, second match, it was double elimination, in case you didn't discover that by the first 2 ones, but I'll probably end up making a new team for next time, because the Sun team is just kind of gonna end up getting retired. So there's that. Maybe we'll see it in the future, maybe not, but haven't been talking about the game. I'm sorry. So I think it led off Raiykid versus Bronzong, went out to Darmanitan to be like in before rocks. He ends up going for the Earthquake, went out to Blastoise as I flare blitzed it, decided to go out to Heracross because this is a choice banded guts one, to fish for the burn from Scalder to get the Toxic. That doesn't happen. Ends up going out to Arcanine to Intimidate. Based on the damage that I'm looking at, that is not a defensive build, that is an offensive one. So I'm actually going to go out into Darmanitan just as death fodder for whatever move he wants to go for, because I'm going to end up being slower because he's offensive. And he does kind of confirm it with the Life Orb right here as well. So now that we're all caught up, get to go out to Raikou right now and go for the extra sensor. He probably thought it was going to say Volt Switch or T-Bolt, but this is a Specs one, and I did see that he did have a Nidoking on his team, but because he also has a Bronzong, I didn't really want to spam extra sensory willy-nilly. You know, I was going to kind of want to be sure that this thing was going to switch in. Turns out that it did, so I get to take it out. If I made it shiny, I could run Aura Sphere on it. I think it would have to be shiny and Rash as per the Legendary Beast event. I just didn't feel like doing that, so extra sensory it is. But it does give him a free window to send in Bronzong and get his rocks up definitely safely. So I'm going to go into Heracross to be in before rocks, and just going to go for a Choice Banded Mega Horn, which does a huge mana damage. Holy shit. Now, I do go for Mega Horn over Close Combat because now, actually, you know what, I don't fucking have Swarm. You know, I didn't want the defense drop from Close Combat. That is probably what I was thinking. So, I have Guts. I have to keep telling myself that I don't have Guts and Swarm. Would have been a good play if I did have Swarm, but no, this is Guts. So, I'm going to go for another Mega Horn. Just based on the damage it did from earlier, I think I do have a chance to KO, and it turns out that I leave him with, like, maybe like 10 HP, and that was kind of disappointing. But I get to go out into my Raikou right now because I am suspecting him to go for the Extreme Speed, and barring, I don't even know if he can take me out even with the crit, but he does go for the E-Speed. That is perfectly fine by me because it's not really not going to do a terrible amount of damage. Kind of looks like he would have gotten really close if he did get an E-Speed crit, but that shit hurts. So he's going to go out into Scrafty right now as I go for the Choice Specs T-Bolt because I really don't have anything else I can go for on Scrafty. Does a pretty hefty chunk, and here, this play right here, I was wondering whether or not this crit mattered, because that's an unstab, unboosted Ice Punch from what I'm assuming is a defensive Scrafty after not seeing Moxie and seeing Leftovers. So I'm not 100% on that one, but I get to go into my Heracross nonetheless and go for a Close Combat, which is going to go ahead and take this thing out. I don't want to miss Mega Horn. I don't want this thing setting up bulk ups or anything in my face, or, you know, just resting off the damage, whatever. Getting more Close Combat drops than it needs to, so that's that. I don't even know what I just said in those last 10 seconds. Whatever. I'm going to go for another Close Combat. And this kind of surprised me that I took it out, but I'm guessing he's a little more offensive because based on how much a resisted Flare Blitz did to this thing, maybe it's not fully physically defensive is what I'm thinking. But Heracross surprisingly gets 2 kills against normal odds, I would assume, and Raikou's going to come in, take me out with the T-Bolt. It's kind of bad because I don't know what kind of build this Raikou is because I don't see any item at all whatsoever. He doesn't have any damage on him to assume lefties, you know, for the sub-call mindset. I didn't see Life Orb. So if he was Choice Scarfed right here, this could have been a very big problem because I do have a lot of things still more or less weak to this thing. Now, if he was Choice, that actually kind of would have been better in Zoroark's case because I do have the Sucker Punch on it, which we'll get to see a little bit later. But for now, I kind of just need something to U-turn into because I do still want Crobat alive to be able to hit it a couple of times. So I'm going to U-turn into this thing. This is an offensive call mindset, which really doesn't get a whole hell of a lot of use. Just because it's going to end up getting taken out by a second T-Bolt. I was surprised to live the first one, but it turns out he's more than likely sub-call mine, so that's that. Takes me out the second T-Bolt, whatever. I'm actually kind of disappointed that this happened because he ends up getting more lefties HP, which, believe it or not, might actually be significant in the next couple of turns, the fact that he didn't take me out in one shot. So, decided to go into my Crobat. I don't know how much a Choice Banded Brave Bird is going to do, but I figure, you know what, why the hell not? You know, I might as well go for it. Bronzong's really not going to appreciate it at that range of HP, and it turns out that it doesn't. You know, even if it is physically defensive, it still takes a nice chunk to the point where I will be able to take it out with a second one, and hey, that's alright with me. So, go for another one, end up getting the knockout on that one, and it is now my my Crobat and my Zoroark versus his Raikou. And if it is the set that I think it is, then I will have to play somewhat carefully around it. So here's the Raikou, and it's got X amount of HP left. I was talking to some people in the stream, and I was like, I wonder how much it's going to do. They're like, oh, it's going to do probably around half, give or take. And hey, look at that. It does around half of the total HP, not half of the remaining HP, because that's a little bit more than that. But he's going to take me out with the T-Bolt, and that is that. Now, the extra turn of leftovers from earlier, I do want to say mattered, because that looks like less than 25% HP, and that looks like a little more than 25% HP. I think you get where I'm going with this, because I bring in Cassie, the black girl from Animorphs, and try to go for a Sucker Punch, and it fails as he goes for the substitute, which means that my ass is grass, as he's going to be able to take me out with the T-Bolt. I believe the correct play right there was to just go for a Dark Pulse, knowing that I could take it, and then it would have broken his sub on this turn, and then he would have just whatever. I think he takes me out of the T-Bolt from this range. I guess T-Bolt would have done a certain between 80 and 90, so it would have been that much closer if that were to have happened that way. But it's just kind of one of those things where I didn't want to run off to a damage calculator, and it would have paid off in that scenario had I gone off to do that, because I would have ended up knowing the correct damage number, and then just ended up winning the match. But kind of worked out the other way. I don't really mind, though, because that's one of those on-the-fly decisions, and it still got down to the wire anyway, so that's kind of cool. Anyways, that's going to do it out of me for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, you're welcome to leave a like, rating, comment, subscribe, and do your thing. I did have a TCGO video for you guys today, but I wasn't really too satisfied with how it turned out. So I'm going to try to get some more decks together and hook you guys up later on in the week at random days whenever I get them done, and just get them uploaded, so that kind of thing. LPs are going to be kind of on hold too, since I did just finish Resident Evil, and I do want to get some time to make my other one. So you're not going to see those for a while. It's just going to be battles and TCG, just like old times. So anyways, that's the end of that, and I'll see you guys on my next upload. Bye.